Thursday, the 26th of April. Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an amazing trading day yesterday. Those of you that are new to the channel, make sure that you click the subscribe button below so that you get updates as they become available. For those of you that are new, also, we look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets every day, drawing the lines on the charts and leaving them on there to hold us and you and everybody accountable. It also allows us to see how trades play out over time because the lines don't disappear. Things just change later on. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Looking at the ES, let's give that a whirl. That's our S&P 500. So taking a look at our levels that we had identified yesterday, and there was very strong move down, and when we did the video yesterday morning, we were sitting right about here. And I had said, well, we're going to keep our blue line down here because this is going to be our area where if price breaks down below, we've got a pretty good opportunity. Now, the S&P was weaker than the Nasdaq, and I said that if we're going to take the breakout, we want to take it in the S&P. And the market came down here, and I said, okay, here we go. It's about to happen. And I said, let's get short just below here at about 26.04 was my number to get short, and the market said, "Hey, Chuck, nah, 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 nah," and it didn't get me filled and popped right up out of that level. So I'm sure a number of you probably had this trade set up right here and going long right there, which certainly would not have been a bad thing. That's actually the trade that we had yesterday, that we had from the weekend edition of the commentary for the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq did make that trade pretty well. So we are still holding strong to a short below this area. This breakout is still a good opportunity to get short if we break below there. In the overnight hours today, what we're doing is we're up about 3.5 points in the S&P from where we closed yesterday. But if you look, we're up 30-something points from our low yesterday morning. So actually got as high as 40-something points from our low yesterday morning, which is pretty strong movement. However, let's talk however for a moment. I think this is just a short covering rally. This short covering rally, I was talking to a good friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about how this feels like a short covering rally, and I'm going to be selling rallies in this 4-hour chart because we got lower swing low and lower swing high. I'm going to be selling I'm going to be selling rallies until I get a higher high. There's no reason not to, but I need a good reason to sell the rally, and right now I don't have one. As far as it goes today, we are actually right now at a potential reversal point. So if you watch this video early enough today, you may catch a little bit of this reversal point. We do have. Pull that to a 15-minute chart so you can see this level right in here. This is the level that was formed in the overnight hours. We're coming down from here. I would not be object to somebody shorting from 26.39 down a bit lower if you so choose. Now, that's not to say you couldn't also go long if we break up above 26.54 to go a bit higher, because you don't really have anything that's stopping you until up in here at about the 26.70 range. So there's some definite short-term day trades available in here. For me personally, I'm going to be more apt to set up for a shorting opportunity below 26.39, and then if it continues to fall below there, I'll add to the position below 26.11. It still doesn't change our big picture sentiment, because on the big picture scale, we still don't have a lower swing low or a lower swing high. We need a lower swing low and a lower swing high before we would consider ourselves in a downward trend. I don't have a downward trend yet. I've got a lower low. I need a lower low and a lower high, and I don't have a lower low. This low here was higher than this one right here. So this is a sideways trend, and it will stay that way until I get both a lower swing low and a lower swing high. So as far as today goes, looking at this chart, I'm going to look for the breakout as a potential. So keep an eye on the Twitter feed today. If something pops up in here, I will let you all know. Looking now at the NQ, so looking here at the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq did break below the line, but that's why I said yesterday I'm not as keen to take the short on the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq wasn't as weak as the S&P. So if you did pop into this Nasdaq trade, you probably got stopped out fairly soon after, and that's okay. You're going to get some of those for those small movements this was the Nasdaq trade. Really, if you did get stopped out, it's probably you got stopped out of your long, which we had a long off of this bottom right here, and it moved up from there. So fairly small loss on that one if you indeed took it at all from kind of where we are right now. Looking next at crude oil. So crude oil, we had gotten the long off of this area right here. Price bounced up. We came down. We hit it again, and we've bounced up again. I switched it to a dashed line, so you probably didn't pop in on the trade right here because it's a lower probability opportunity at this point. All in all, I still think if you today wanted to short it below this line here, 68.06, you're going to actually get a little movement on there. If you short it below 68.06, I think you'll get a little bit of a movement until further down, and especially if this becomes the high. If right here is our high, then you're going to have a fairly tight stop on that as well that might be worth getting in on for crude oil. Gold. So gold, we broke down below our level. Now remember, I talked about this yesterday. Your stop has to go above the last pivot, which is way up here, right? This is our last true pivot above the breakdown. So if you did short it, then you're still in this thing, riding it along, and it could continue to fall from here. So let's see how that one plays out. Fairly wide stop though for most people. Looking next at bonds. So in our bond market, we are sitting right now in the little reversal area that we had set up for bonds. So this one is a very tiny little area. We hit it yesterday and we came down out of it. So if you were able to catch that little move, great. Once we've hit it the first time, that level is no longer valid the second time through. So that's why we've come up to it and we've kind of just chopped around and we even popped slightly above it. But the first time that it touched, it did indeed work for a nice little movement. So we're going to take this one off the table. So that one worked out for a nice little movement. What I would say now, though, is that this is setting up for a potential breakdown trade by basing right through here. So keep that area in mind as we got our little movement in the bonds. In the Aussie, we've still got our Aussie trade set up here. No real change to add to the Aussie. The Euro, no real change to add to the Euro, although I think there's going to be a good opportunity to get short. Wrong drawing tool. Let me make sure that I have the right one. Still the wrong drawing tool. Fingers don't want to move this morning. Up here could be a good reversal point in the euro. Looking here at the Canadian, so we have rallied up to our level in the Canadian dollar. It's chopping around a little bit, so it did not hit the stop out point yet. So let's see if it continues to go. If you're not short the Canadian dollar yet, you can get short if it drops below, call it this area right here. If there's going to be an opportunity for that one. So we're in that Canadian dollar is in its reversal point as we speak. Looking last, but certainly not least, Great British Pound is sitting above its breakdown point. So see if that breakdown occurs today. And then Japanese yen, there's still nothing concrete to lean on. Same thing with copper and nat gas, nothing major for us to hit on as well. So a lot of breakdowns that are getting close. I think we could have some decent movement today. I think that yesterday's rally at the end of the day, there was the Facebook earnings, but I think this is a picture perfect example of a short covering rally and a dead cat bounce, if you will. So I think there's a couple of breakouts today that could be runners for you. And as we start to head into late in the week, just like I said last Friday, just like I said the Friday before that, and I've said it now for 7 consecutive Fridays, the market has been selling off heading into the weekends. Just keep that in mind. So, all right, everybody, hope you have a great day. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out, chuck@iifinancial.com. I will